The Mystery of BELICENA VILLCA. Second Book. The Letter of BELICENA VILLCA. 32nd Day. Immediately, Bray added the next. For millenniums, in the submerged continent of the Atlantis, that the Gentile must never know that existed, the priests of the One fought against the hostile effect that the cold stone caused in the souls of men of clay. Was attempted, by divers means, that the uncuttered spirit, incarcerated to the soul, by the cold stone, forgets its origin, beyond the iron safe. And the results were encouraging then. Finally, the blood of the men of clay had been degraded in such way, that the uncuttered spirit was incapable to orientate itself to the cold stone, that would reveal the divine origin. Then, existed a cultural golden age, in which other chosen people, similar to Israel, established the universal synarchy, and was prepared for the kingdom of the Shekinah. Was in that moment when some men of stone, who escaped to the extermination of the priests and the seraphim Nephilim, submitted them, and they achieved to attract for their help other seraphim, called Hyperborean, who entered to the created universe through the sphere of Venus. The most terrible of those seraphims was Lucifer. Phosphorus, Hesperus, due to facing all the celestial legions of Exeberat, he precipitated to the earth to bequeath his own crown to the spirit incarcerated in the earth and man. He placed here, then, the damned gem of the Grail, which has the power to avoid that the spirit forgets its divine origin. Once realized, he returned from where he had came, but leaving the fertilized germs of the Luciferic lineages, against which we are still fighting, in all similar to the house of Tharsis, that we have recently exterminated. And would be those condemned lineages, by Eve, especially the ones that emerged from the white race, the ones that would never forget the origin, the ones that would try to germinate the seed of stone, in all the earth and men, which would unbind the rebellion against the law of Eve, and the hate for the creation. Thus, was reached inevitably, to the battle of the Atlantis, which ended with a planetary catastrophe. However, the greatest evil not happened yet. This one overcame, because of Lucifer and that woman, the intruder Emma, who was capable to enter in the sphere of Venus and to obtain the secret of the seeds of stone. Yes, priests, the seraphim Lucifer gave to the intruder the spikes of the seeds of stone, that until then was only possessed the seraphim Nephilim. And with his return the greatest evil fell over the earth and men, because the intruder chose the bravest ones, and started to plant in their hearts the seed of stone that turns off the warm fire of the animal passion, the love of the great mother Bina. Each seed of stone would be one wise warrior, a man of stone, situated out of the law of Eve, instead of the name identical to Metatron, which was destined to be at the end of time. With her indescribable act, the intruder, the Virgin of Agartha, offended profoundly to the great mother Bina, to whom she snatched the love of many sons. For this reason the land of Huelvi must be purified, that for many centuries has been dedicated to an impious cult. Only in this way will descend the Shekinah, in Rusbal. She, priests, is our most powerful enemy. Her evil is above all the evil. Her hostility for the creation surpass any man of stone. Her courage to face the one overpass the bravest wise warrior. Before her, and her infinite mystery, all tremble of terror. And behind the terror and the death, will only survive the uncuttered spirits, who are of the same Hyperborean essence. She returned from Venus, carrying the spike of the seeds of stone, and bringing in her belly the demon of the war, Neptune, her uncuttered son. All was a conspiracy of the seraphim Lucifer. He wanted that Emma to have a child of stone, a son that would be at the head of the white race and would found for his members a mystery, and that the initiates in that mystery could obtain the immortality, and receive in their hearts the seed of stone of the Virgin of Agartha. Look at the Sphericare, ordered Beret, to whom this part of the history produced a strange mix of hate and terror. Here Neptune crucified himself. He signalized the branches that ranged from the trunk unto the pomegranates, housed and in. The ace was tied from the right and left arm of the holy elder under his great countenance, and without realizing that the stone of fire, Abenes, was hanging over his head, 9 nights agonized in the cross of Rimmon, until Freya, a female demon, as terrible as Emma, went out from Eye, and found out the secret of the death. But, to reveal it to Neptune, who had just died, she had to eat a grain of the pomegranate egma, and became a partridge. She performed for Neptune the lame dance that allows to go out from the labyrinth of the illusion of the death. However, such food incarcerated her to the illusion, as Persephone, and she couldn't return to the origin, from where she had came to save his husband. Thus Freya, a new enemy of the creation, remained with Vides, the lord of Agartha, the refuge of the uncreated demons, and with Neptune his husband, to carry out the essential war against the one. Neptune, by his part, resuscitated, and revealed to the members of his race the secret of the death, through the mystery of the labyrinth, in which course the initiates receive in their hearts the seed of stone, of the Virgin of Agartha, and can become man of stone. Disciples of Neptune were the white Atlantans, who, planted in the world of impious stones, who, opened the doors of the celestial mansions, to take them by assault. For this reason, don't forget, priests, the conditions of the cultural pact. The men of stone are our most terrible enemies because they are proposed to impede the fulfillment of the plans that Eve has disposed for their humanity. But they're also the stones of the men of stone. Not forget that their damned stones must be destroyed, because inside of them could exist seeds of stone, germs of inconceivable beings that could fructify and born in determinate moments of history. Don't forget that the cold stone is invisible for our souls, but ready to manifest their essential hostility when the opportunity, that's to say, the Kairos, permits it. We ignore, if from such manhood will emerge the men of stone, but, in any case we must destroy it. Remember that we declared the essential war against the enemy of the creation, and that our war is between the lie and the cold stone, between the warm fire and the cold fire, between the created and the uncreated, between the being and the naught. Bishwa spoke again to talk exclusively of the mission that the immortals left to the priests. The meeting was ending and would pass many years before their return. Perhaps, then, as before, as always, would exist other priests to receive them. They shouldn't, thereby, miss any word that they were telling, because no one could repeat it after. And the error, in the order of Melchizedek, was severely punished. You already know, in part, your mission, said Bishwa. You will dedicate all your powers and influence to purify this region of Huelva. The house of Tharsis has been destroyed, and, even if we not recovered the stone of Venus, it neither would be used against you. That was one of the last stones of Lucifer, that allowed to the Hyperborean initiates to orientate in the labyrinth of the illusion of life. Without them, the guardian of the labyrinth can be tranquil, Evadonna. Only the priests of Israel know the lame dance that signalizes the exit. Priests, the enemy is almost defeated. The Synarchy of the chosen people will be a reality soon, the Shekinah will descend prompt, and the Messiah King will reign. The Holocaust of fire is drawing nigh. Quiblin will come to Rusbaal to search for the Great Mother Bina, and will exhibit his name Sam, Shekinah, Avia, Mitraton. And she, lovely, will plant the earthen seed of the Pardes Rimonim, the germ of Metatron, that at the end will be, stone of fire, perfect soul of the chosen people. Demolish without considerateness the altar of the imposture. Remove her hand from the abominable spike of hate. Make that nobody remember her essential sacrilege, her seeds of stone condemned by Eve. Destroy her places of cult, and her images, kill even her memory and, of course, burn it to ashes, and make picture with it, to all those who believe in the Virgin of Agartha, and aspire the seed of stone. Be hard, priests, because the enemy deserve it. Raise altars, for the sweet Mother Bina instead. put in her hand the wonderful pomegranate of the love of Eve. Let that everyone know her essential sacrifice of being visitor of the earth and seeds blessed by Eve. Build places for her cult, and invoke her images, generate in the people her remembrance and, of course, reward with the greatest dispenses to all those who believe in the Virgin of Miracles, of the rivet, of the pomegranate, of the ribbon, of the boat, of the earthen child, of the warm fire. Be effective, priests, because the plans of Eve demand it. In sum, you'll start substituting the statue of the Bishop Macaria by the new sculpture Our Lady of Miracles that the monk will carve according to the vision of the Spherica. You will place this sculpture in the convent of the Our Lady of the Rivet, but immediately you shall dedicate to the work and propitiate the near edification of a great sanctuary for the Virgin of the Ribbon. This one will have to shelter a brotherhood of seamen and owners of nares, who will request her protection and will gather around her cult. The ideal site will be a hill near to the sea, from where could be described the estuary of Odile, the city of Huelva, Pelos, La Abada, and Mecca. And the image that will be worshipped there will be very similar to one seen by the sculptor monk, but gifted of major sacred attributes. The Great Mother Bina will exhibit in her left hand the pomegranate, that is to say, the acid fruit of the warm life, halved in from a vulva, and showing in its aperture the grains of the seeds of stone. And with the right hand will hold the Messiah, who will appear completely naked except by his feet, that will be covered with gaiters to dissimulate his lameness of Dionysius. The left hand of the divine child will be directed to the pomegranate, while with the right will sustain the Zephyrotic ribbon, the cord with the 10 measures of the universe, the symbol of the overseas navigators. But in the dress of the Mother of God, visible and contrasted, must be the Hebrew letters of the name Quiblon, Sam, that is, Samg, Aleph, and Mem. Finally, about the image of the Virgin of the Ribbon, you will portray 2 of the Seraphim Nephilim, sustaining in their hands the Celtic symbol of the Kalakikaki. You will also make other images and sculptures inspired in the recent descriptions. But have present that, in every case, the Messiah child must be despoiled from the sacrilegious book that holds the child of stone of the Virgin of Agatha, the book of the Hyperborean wisdom. On its place, you'll put a sphere or Erbistre, a symbol of the universal power that the Messiah King will reach in the kingdom of Israel Shekinah. Similar to it, there will be the images and sculptures that you'll distribute in all the places that be necessary. And lo, priests, because we'll prophesy you one last time. Hear this message, it will be accomplished at any time and place, because is the word of Eve. Eve Separat saith, days of glory shall come for the chosen people. I shall come, Shekinah, upon it, and I will reign in the midst of the fire holocaust in which the impious shall fall before me. And in those days, when the glory and the victory of Israel be drawing nigh, I will send an unequivocal sign announcing that the time hath come. Such sign shall be the fall of the pomegranate, the mansion of the Jews. In reality, will be always the pomegranate. What shall signalize this hour? Pomegranate that will be in possession of a decadent kingdom, that shall be conquered by a nascent empire. The triple holocaust of the Gentile people shall be offered then. Thereupon I shall come, and the glory and victory of Israel will have begun. Quiblon, whose voice closet the doors of hell and open the doors of heaven, shall offer me the triple holocaust and will announce me, thus will signalize the time of Israel. Rejoice, priests of each Sebarat, that today the lineage of Pharsis has been exterminated, and we will announce you the forthcoming Shekinah. Comply with firmness and exactitude our orders, and soon Quiblon will come to receive the verb of Metatron, and celebrate the triple holocaust awaited by Eve. Be the victory Natsar of Eve with you. Saluted Beret. And the glory Hod of Lohim Sebarat crowns your efforts. Ended Beret. In the next day, the immortals had gone to Shambhala, leaving the 4 priests mired in deep musings. Of course, the diabolic arrogance of Beret and Bishar would be appeased a little if would have been suspected that still existed lords of Tharsis alive, and that the condemned lineage, as the phoenix, would reborn of their own ashes in the house of Tharsis.